Hey everybody, welcome to another review. Before I begin, if you wouldn't mind, please like, subscribe, and share if you enjoy these videos. Also, if you want to help me pay some bills, my Patreon info is in the description down below. And with all of that out of the way, let's get to this review. So Malcolm and Marie is a movie on Netflix that stars John David Washington and Zendaya. The movie is about a pretty toxic couple that returns home from a movie premiere. Malcolm's movie premiere to be exact. Malcolm is a director. When they return home, they spend their night arguing about the relationship in the movie industry. And that's the gist. I'm going to start off with a few positives I have because ultimately I did not like this movie. I really enjoyed the music. That was probably the best thing for me. I had to pause every few minutes just to add another song to my playlist. I like the cinematography. I like the black and white color grade. It could be simply chosen for aesthetic reasons, or it could be a play on the phrase, not everything is black and white. This could be a reference to their relationship where it's not as simple as she's right and he's wrong, or vice versa. They both can be right and wrong at different points in their arguments. There's deeper reasons as to why each one is upset at different times. But that was just a random thought I have in my mind. I have no idea if that's right. This movie is shot in one location, and I really enjoyed the way they used the house and the way the characters moved around it. And that's pretty much it for all the things I liked. So starting at the top for what I didn't like, the acting. I just didn't believe it. They were yelling and displaying a lot of emotion and passion, but it felt hollow. It doesn't look like they believe what they're saying. For most of the movie, I was questioning if Zendaya was even a good actress. The last thing I saw her in was Spiderman, and I haven't seen her show Euphoria. So I started to have my doubts. But she has some great moments later on in the movie, so I was a little bit confused. I think it was the fact that the movie felt rushed. I'm not sure how long shooting actually took, but I know this was shot during COVID, so I wouldn't be surprised if this was a shorter production than normal. This leaves less time for the actors to actually become the characters. It felt like I was watching actors act and not characters in their natural habitat, similar to how a play can make you feel at times. And I also wouldn't be surprised if this was shot in sequential order. That would explain why Zendaya and John Washington delivered better performances in the second half of the movie versus the beginning. But I can't blame it all on them because the dialogue didn't help at all. This was probably the biggest issue for me with the movie. The dialogue is all over the place. There are good moments, bad moments, and just random moments. I enjoy when they were actually talking about their relationship. That's when it felt like everything came together. Unfortunately, it's mixed with dialogue where they don't sound like a couple. They sound like therapists psychoanalyzing each other. It sounded like I was listening to the writer's breakdown of each character and not actual characters talking to each other. There are multiple points where they just don't sound real. Some sections of dialogue aren't even about them, it's about the movie industry, and this is where I felt like I was being preached at. It feels like we get these type of monologues every few years with a character vomiting out what the writer feels. Like, let me tell off my industry that I work in. They are ruining the integrity of the film industry that I love so much, and here's how. I don't mind the talking point, but a character yelling in his backyard at the sky just feels like I'm watching a writer yell at the audience instead of characters talking to each other. Again, I don't mind the message, but this feels like the laziest way to display it. Another issue I had with the dialogue is that it has no flow. It is really difficult to write connecting conversational dialogue over long periods of time. Imagine shooting a one-take shot, but with words. It's hard, and that's why movies generally don't do it. They break up dialogue with action scenes, time changes, or location changes. Well, this movie tried a continuous dialogue, and it failed. Like I previously said, this all takes place in a house in real time in one night. The conversation doesn't naturally flow. It breaks and changes drastically. I've been in a few arguments in my lifetime, and I've heard a few arguments. I have never seen conversation change topics and emotions so drastically. Let's yell at each other about each other, then let's yell about the movie industry, and then let's yell about not finding a credit card. There is no gradual or natural flow. I like the characters' backstories, I just think it was presented in a muddy way with a bunch of extra unnecessary filler. Also, in regards to the dialogue, some of it just sounds corny and unbelievable with these characters. Lines like, out here on these streets and you're a featherweight, a level 1 boss, I can snap you like a twig. I laughed at some of these lines because they sounded so fake, like, who talks like this? Another issue I had was the directing and visual shots. Most of it is good, but some of it is just random and strange. Like they were trying to be fancy for no reason. Why are we focusing on this shot of Marie cutting the butter? Why is this man eating mac and cheese so aggressively? Just some weird decisions. And the last point I'll talk about is the sound mixing. Sound is rarely something that I pay attention to in a movie, but Washington's voice sounds so much louder and fuller than Zendaya's. It's like they were in separate rooms while they were in the same room. I don't know if this was done on purpose, but it was a bit distracting. And that's the end of my complaint list. I overall did not enjoy watching this movie, and I personally wouldn't suggest it. After a while, it felt like work instead of the usual enjoyment of watching a movie. The premise is solid, but it just needs a lot more work. I really enjoy simplistic movies that have less than a handful of characters, but they are really tough to make because you don't have the distractions that other movies have. So your dialogue has to be well thought out, tight, and captivating. Yelling for the sake of yelling doesn't mean you're conveying emotions well. This movie tried to give us a real couple's argument, but for me, it failed to execute. But that's all, peoples. Please let me know if you have already watched Malcolm and Marie and tell me your thoughts. Let's have a conversation down in the comments. Also, let me know what else you want me to review. If you don't like the review, or even if you did and you think there's something I can improve on, please let me know what I need to change, add, or take out so that I can make a better review for you next time. Once again, please like and subscribe if you enjoy these videos. Thanks for watching, listening, and supporting. God bless. I'll talk to you later.